Dear first year and high school students, I will teach you the complement clause today. The simple sentence has gone, the complex, the compound, they have gone. So today, the subject of discussion is the complement clause. So it is an important clause also, very important clause. And when you are to find out the parts of speech of the sentence, the complement also plays a vital role. And you have to distinguish, you have to find out what is the complement in a sentence. So dear students, some verbs in the sentences are complete in themselves, you mark. Some verbs in sentences are complete in themselves and others are not complete. Some verbs in sentences, you mark, are complete in themselves. So they are called complete verbs. But there are some verbs which need a noun substitute or adjective to complete the meaning. Some verbs need noun substitute or adjective to complete the meaning. The term complement, you mark. The term complement means something that is needed to complete the meaning of a verb. You mark. The term complement. What is the meaning of a complement? COMPLEMENT complement. COMPLEMENT complement. So the meaning of a complement is that the verb needs something. The verb in a sentence needs something to complete its meaning. That is the meaning of the complement, you mark. The complement can be a single word, a group of words, or phrases, you mark. Complement can be a single word, a group of words, or a phrase. So that is why, again I am telling you that a complement clause is very vital for you, very important for you, complement. When we will distinguish, when we will find out the parts of a speech of a sentence, complement is also required, complement is very necessary, and we have to find out what is the complement in that sentence and what is the rule of a complement in a sentence. What is the rule of a complement, the function of a complement? So complement has this clause, complement clause. They are of three types, I will tell you. But today, the matter of discussion, the subject of discussion is complement clause. And some verbs are complete in themselves. I don't know. And you have to know. Some verbs are complete in themselves, and some need a noun, or it's a substitute, or adjective to complete the meaning. The term complement means something that is needed to complete the meaning of a verb. Something that is needed to complete the meaning of a verb. That is the meaning of the complement. And that is the rule of the complement. That is the function of the complement. A complement is an essential part of a sentence. A complement is an essential part of a sentence. When a clause completes the meaning of a verb, it is called a complement clause. When a clause completes the meaning of a verb, the verb remains unfinished. The verb is not complete. It remains unfinished. And it needs a complement to complete its meaning. I will give you the example. And that is why the grammarian have already given their argument, logical argument. They have given their logical argument that when a clause completes the meaning of a verb, when a clause completes the meaning of a verb, it is called a complement clause. A complement can also be a single word, a group of words, or a phrase. But presently, we are concerned with the complement clauses. Now, we will discuss the complement clauses. We will focus our attention, and also you have to know why complement clause is needed sometimes in a sentence, because the verb remains unfinished and it requires a complement to complete its meaning, you mark. And that is why you have to write a complement clause to complete the meaning of the verb. When it is unfinished, it is incomplete. So, I will discuss three kinds of complements or complement clauses. Three kinds of complements. Number one is a subject complement. Number one is a subject complement. Write down. Number two is object complement. And number three is the adverbial complement or adverb complement. Three complements are there. COMPLEMENTS complements, not COMPLI. I am telling you about the complement clause, not COMPLI. That is complement, the different one. But this is the complement 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 clause. COMPLEMENT. Write down. And three kinds of complements are there. Three kinds of complements. And number one is the subject complement. Number two is object complement. And number three is adverb complement. And first of all, we will go to the subject complement. What is the subject complement? You have to know. Many intransitive verbs, be verbs. Many intransitive verbs, link verbs, LINK. Many intransitive verbs or link verbs require a subject. Require a subject complement. Require a subject complement. And such verbs are be verbs or its forms. Such verbs are be verbs or its forms. Again, I am telling that many intransitive verbs, link verbs, you don't know, require a subject complement. Require a subject complement. Such verbs are be verbs and its forms. And these forms are feel, 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 seem, 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 appear, APPAR, appear, become, BECOME, and like this. And you have known the be verb and its forms in high school career. And again, I am telling you, the forms are like this: feel, seem, appear, become, etc. And many verbs are also there, and they come under the be verb. They come under the be verb. So they require complement. They require complement clauses to complete the meaning. Normally, these intransitive verbs, you mark. These intransitive verbs, link verbs, require a subject complement. Require a subject complement. Such verbs are seem, appear, become, feel, etc. That will never take ing form. That will never take ing form normally. Feeling, I am feeling, I feel. It seems. So that is why the be verb and its forms, they require the subject complement to complete the meaning. A subject complement usually, you mark, a subject complement usually describes the subject of the verb. The subject complement usually describes. The subject complement usually describes the subject of a verb. The subject of a verb. Very important. You are to note. You are to note it down. That subject complement. A subject complement usually describes the subject of the verb. You take the example. I am now giving you the example subject complement. The example is, it is a pity. I am giving you the example. It is a pity that she is stupid. It is a pity that he is stupid. You mark. That is bracketed. Here that will be bracketed. It is a pity. Is. Be mark. It is a pity that she is stupid. She is stupid is the subject of the verb. You mark. It is a pity that she is stupid. It is a pity that. So, the sentence, the clause, complementary clause, that is, she is stupid, is the subject of the verb. It is the subject of a verb. Yes, it is the subject of a verb, and that is why it is used just in the case of, it is used when the intransitive verb is there, be verb is there, or its form is also there. Sometimes it is a subject complement, sometimes it is object complement, and sometimes it is also a verb complement. And I am giving you the second example. You come to the second example. It appears that this is the only exception to the rule. It appears be form, the form of a be verb. The form of one form of a be verb, that is appear. I have told you. It appears that this is the only exception, that is bracketed. This is the only exception to the rule. This is the only exception to the rule. It is the subject of the verb. Appear. It is the subject of the verb appear. You mark. So that is why in intransitive verb cases, the complement clauses are used as the subject of the verb. Subject of the verb. And it appears. I am giving you the third example, you see. Third example. The difficulty is that we have no time. The difficulty is that. What is? The difficulty is be verb. And we have no time. And we have no time is the subject of the object, the subject of the verb, that is be verb, is. It is the subject of the be verb, that is. So these are the items. Easily you can grasp, easily you can have the meaning. You will face no problem. If you are good at English, if you are good at English, if you have a fair proficiency in English, you will easily catch. You will easily catch the meaning. I do not want to do the blackboard work, BB work. I don't want to do, because you are very good students, securing more than 80% of mark in your matric examination, and you will easily catch the meaning. You have covered these things there in your high school career, and I am telling it just now when you are reading in the colleges, or is it when you are reading in the higher secondary schools? I am also telling it, but you have covered all these things there in your high school. So I have given you the three examples of subject complement. I have given you the three examples of subject complement. The very good examples I have told you, and they are the subjects of the verbs, and they are the subjects of the verbs. So that is why it is a subject complement. So it is used in case of intransitive verb, be verb. That is a link verb, be verb or a link verb. Something is needed to complete the meaning. That verb wants something to complete its meaning. That is why complement is to do that. And that is the role of the complement, or that is the function of the complement. Very important, you have to know. You come to the object complement. That is also another thing, and it is used in the case of transitive verbs. So this form is used in the case of transitive verbs. But earlier I was telling about the intransitive verbs or link verbs, be verbs, and its forms I have told you. But just now you come to another thing, that is transitive verb. Many transitive verbs, you mark, many transitive verbs require object complements. Many transitive verbs require object complements in addition to the object. In addition to the object, you mark. That object, what object requires? So in that case, in the first case, what verb required? You did that. But it is about what object requires. So I bought a book. A book is the object. I told Rama a story. Rama is the object. And sometimes that object becomes subject no doubt. But here I am telling about the object or object complement. Where the verb is transitive. So you say many transitive verbs. Many transitive verbs require object. What object? Now many transitive verbs require object complements. Object is there no doubt. In transitive verb you will find many objects. But you require the object complements to give additional quality, to add additional quality or additional things which is very essential. So I am telling you, Mark, many transitive verbs require object complement. Object complements in addition to the object. Otherwise, they are incomplete. Otherwise, this object, the objects are incomplete in the sentence. Something is required. That the object wants something to be meaningful. The object requires that to be meaningful. Otherwise, it will be incomplete. You mark, it will be incomplete. And this essential additional part, you mark. This essential additional part is called the object complement. This additional essential part is called the object complement, and it is an attribute. It is a quality, it is an attribute, additional quality, attribute of the object. And the complement will be used for the object, not for the verb. The complement clause can be used only for the object, not for the verb. Verb has gone. In intransitive case, the verb has gone. But you come to the transitive case, it should not be confused with the direct object. It should not be confused, again I am telling you. You are not to be confused with the direct object, or the sentence should not be confused with a direct object. And I am giving you the example. The example is, you see, we deem it an honor. We deem it, D-E-E-M. We deem it an honor that you are here with us today. You are with us here, or you are here with us today. You mark. We deem it an honor. We deem. We deem it an honor that you are here with us today. With us today. And the complement clause, that you are here with us today. You are here with us today has something to do with the object of the sentence. You mark. The object of the sentence, deem it an honor. We deem it an honor that it has nothing to do with the verb of the sentence. We deem it. We deem, but it has something to do with the object. Deem it. It. It is an object. It. Remark. It is a pronoun. It is a pronoun, substitute of the noun. And that complement clause is used only because of that. Because it has something to do with the object of the sentence. You mark. Again, I am telling you the example you write down. We deem it an honor. We deem it an honor that you are here with us today. That you are here with us today. This is the sentence you write down. You come to the second sentence. Second sentence. He expected and he expected something of you. He expected something of you that you would soon be cured. That means he expected something of you. He expected something of the divine power. He expected something of the divine power that you would soon be cured. You would soon be cured has something to do with the object of the sentence. Remark. That has something to do with the object of the sentence. And I am giving you another example, you will be very clear. Because sometimes you are in a doubt, and I want to clear your doubt. Again, I am giving you the third sentence, you mark. He suggested it to me. He suggested it to me when the meeting will be held. You mark. He suggested it to me that. He suggested it to me, or he has already given me the hints. He has already given me the hints. What is the hint? What is the thing? He has already given me suggestion. What is the thing? That I should go with them. That may be a suggestion. Or again, I am telling that I gave him a suggestion. I gave him a suggestion that he must leave the room as quick as possible. He must leave the room as quick as possible. So that is the suggestion to be carried out by him. You mark. So you come to the plain sentence. Dear students, you come to the plain sentence. The students requested me. I am telling you another sentence. The students requested me that I should go with them. The students requested me. The students requested me that I should go with them. Here in the sentence, me is the object. The students requested me. Me is the object. The students requested me that I should go with them. You come to that I should go with them. Is a complement clause. That I should go with them is a complement clause. The students requested me. Requested me. Me the object here. Me the object that I should go with them. The students requested me that I should go with them. And that is why you to mark the sentence has a direct connection. The sentence or the complement clause has a direct connection with the object. Sometimes it has a direct connection with the object, and sometimes it has an indirect connection with the object. So that is why he has already pointed, the grammarian has already pointed out that it should not be confused with the direct object. You mark. It should not be confused with the direct object. They will say that it will have a direct connection with the object. No, sometimes it is indirect. The meaning is indirect. The connection is indirect. And finally it is presumed or it is calculated that the complement clause has something to do with the object. Finally you will come to the conclusion. You will come to the conclusion that it has something to do with the object. Though it has no direct touch, though it has no direct connection. And you have to mark. I am giving you another example. You mark another example is there. What is that? He explained it to all present. He explained it to all present that the delay was inevitable. The delay was inevitable. I explained it to all present. I gave hints. Why it was a delay. The meaning of the sentence. I explained it to all present. Who are present? I explained it to all present that the delay was inevitable. That was inevitable. That could not be avoided. So that is inevitable. The meaning of the sentence. But you mark, I explained it to all present that the delay was inevitable. The delay was inevitable has something to do with the object. So, though it has no direct connection, it has no direct touch, what I am telling, but it has something to do with the object. The object complement, the complement has something to do with the object, directly or indirectly. But it has something to do with the object, not with the verb. But in intransitive case, intransitive verb cases, the complement has something to do with the verb. But here the complement has something to do with the object. Then you come to adverbial complements or the adverb complements. Adverbial or the adverb complements. Some transitive and intransitive both. Some transitive and intransitive verbs require adverbial expressions to complete their meaning. Some transitive or intransitive both the verbs. Subject complement is about the intransitive verbs. The object complement is about the transitive verbs. The adverb complement or adverbial complements are about both the verbs, transitive and intransitive verbs. You mark. Some transitive and intransitive verbs require adverbial expressions to complete their meaning. To complete their meaning, they need adverbial expressions. If such expressions are clauses, they are called adverbial complement clauses. If they are clauses, I have told you what is a clause. What is a clause? Where there is a subject and a predicate. That is a clause. What is a phrase? Where you will never have a subject and a predicate. That is a phrase. I have told you what is a clause. A clause is having a subject and a predicate. A subject must be there, a predicate must be also there. Then I have told you earlier, while I was telling you The sentence, simple sentence, a subject and a predicate is there is simple a subject and a predicate. Independent, that is. Subject and sometimes the subordinate clauses. In subordinate clauses, we have subjects and predicates, but they are not independent, but they are dependent. In the subordinate clauses, the subjects are there and also the predicates are there, but they are not independent, but they are dependent. They depend upon the main clause. And the clause has, what is a clause? When you will have that subject and a predicate. You will have subject and a predicate. You come. So, if such expressions are clauses, they are called adverbial complement clauses. So, I am telling you so these things, the adverbial clauses are found in transitive and intransitive verb cases. They are also found. So, I am also giving you one example. You see, I live as though I are a bachelor. I live as though I are a bachelor. I live as though, you mark. I are a bachelor. I live as though I are a bachelor. Some transitive and intransitive verbs require adverbial expression to complete their meaning, you mark. I live as though. Why did he say so? I live as though I are a bachelor. As though I are a bachelor. So I live as though I are a bachelor because I are a bachelor will complete the meaning. It will bring completion in the meaning. It will complete the meaning, you mark, dear students. So that is why that adverbial clause is needed. I live as though. Only for I live as though. Only for I live as though. Unless this thing happens, I will never leave. Unless this thing comes, I will never leave. So that is why that requires an adverbial complement. I am coming to the second example. You see, it flew away. It flew away as the gun sounded. It flew. Why did it fly away? Why did it fly away? It flew away as the gun sounded. So that is why, in order to complete the meaning, flew away. In order to complete the meaning, it flew away, gun sounded was required. That clause was required. That adverbial clause was required to complete the meaning. So that is why, in the case of the transitive, intransitive verbs, adverbial clauses, adverbial complement clauses are necessary. Sometimes to complete the meaning. And you come to the third example. I am telling you. She will come as soon as she is ready. She will come as soon as she will come as soon as she is ready. When will he come? Or when will she come? She will come when she gets herself ready. When she gets herself ready, she will come. And unless he becomes ready, unless he gets herself ready, she will never come. As soon as. So that is also used as soon as, you mark. So I will also give you another example. He ran away as soon as he saw a tiger. I stood up as soon as I saw a teacher in the classroom. So in that case, no sooner is used. So when we will discuss, when I will go to as soon as, no sooner than, to, enough, use of to, enough. So I will also tell you all these things. And today the discussion is about the complement clause, and three types of complement clauses are there, I have told you. And one is the subject complement, the second one is object complement, and the third one is adverb complement or adverbial complement. Three complements are there. Subject complement is used in the case of intransitive verb. Object complement is used in the case of transitive verb, and adverbial complement is used in the case of transitive and intransitive verb, both transitive and intransitive verb. I have given you the example, and in the next class I will discuss other things. And today this much. Thank you all. Thank you all.